RG3 and Colin Kaepernick are all in need of a home, but according to our president, Kaepernick's lack of job is based on his political views. Sass, how do you feel about this? Does Kaepernick have a football or a political problem?
Well, first of all, I think it's easy to say both because he's 3-16 as a starter over the last 2 years, completing 59% of his passes. Clearly, it has something to do with football. But I'm going to say it's political more so than anything else, and here's why. Look, we want to act. We want to wiggle our way around this, particularly in the world of sports. We can't, ladies and gentlemen. It's a numbers game. In America, 66% of the population happens to be white. That is just a fact. You want mass appeal, can't get it without white folks supporting you. It's just that simple. All right? Black folks make up approximately 13 to 14% of the population. The Latino community makes up approximately 17% of the populace. Now, even though 29% of them voted for the president, the fact of the matter is that he wanted to build a wall, and it's a great big wall, and the Mexicans are going to pay for it. You alienated people when you said that. Obviously, there were folks that felt that he was relatively insensitive to folks in the black community, and he only got like 8% of the black vote. But he's the president with 304 electoral college votes, with 62.9 million people having voted for him. So chances are, based on the numbers alone, the vast majority of folks who voted for him happen to be white. And when Colin Kaepernick decided to kneel for the national anthem, that alienated a large segment of that populace. Now, there were others like myself and Max and others who stood up and said, we support him. But then you got black folks who, to some degree, turned against him. Me, certainly me. Why? Because the #1 instrument for change in the United States of America happens to be your power to vote. And while we appreciate his charitable and philanthropic efforts, all right, which Colin Kaepernick has clearly exercised and deserves an abundance of credit for that, when you speak to old school black folks who affect and are influential to the minds of younger black folks and note about the importance of voting and the fact that he passed the buck on that, you kind of alienated that as well. So you've got white folks, a lot, not all, but white folks who aren't that supportive of him. You got black folks that have a problem with him. And you got Latinos who may be relatively indifferent. That puts you in a position where if you're an NFL owner, you're saying, do I need this problem with a dude that can't even complete 60% of his passes and is 3-16 over the last 2 years as a starter? No, I do not. That's as simple as that to me.
Well, you mentioned that it's both, and obviously both play a factor, but it's mostly about football. Let me just say, to begin, to just rebut something you said, or to add to it at least.
Sure.
Yes, it's white-black, but that's not the only axis you can divide this country along. You could say urban-rural. You can say young-old. You can say progressive-revanchist, meaning we want to take back gains that the other side has made. You can go higher-educated, lower-educated. You can go multicultural, white nationalist. I mean, you can divide people along, those fault lines.
Okay.
And there is overlap in many of them, but it's not necessarily the deciding issue in this case, white or black, although there will be a strong positive correlation, I'm sure.
You're not wrong. I just went the more simplistic route because, I mean, you had me, I need to look up 2 of the words that you use, but go ahead.
It's football. Because the dominoes fall, all the quarterbacks are related to one another, their situation. So who's Colin Kaepernick? Colin Kaepernick's still a guy who should be in his physical prime. Though he hasn't looked quite in his physical prime. It looked like he's lost some muscle mass in recent years. Put a little back, but not the way he looked, several years ago.
Maybe the vegan diet is...
Yeah, maybe, whatever it is, but it doesn't physically look like what he once was quite. But he should still be in his physical prime, according to the calendar. And, listen, he was once a very good quarterback who took a team to a Super Bowl and came one pass away from taking them to back-to-back Super Bowls. It took a great Richard Sherman play to keep him out of back-to-back Super Bowls. What is he now? He is now a replacement-level quarterback. He plays at just about replacement level for a starter when on the field, I think. And so he's a replacement-level quarterback with maybe upside. That is not an unattractive piece to some teams, but not as attractive to many as Tony Romo. We don't know what's going to happen with him yet. Maybe not even Brock Osweiler at a discount, because now part of his salary might be paid by the Browns. Or maybe not as much as Jay Cutler for some. I hate to say it, Stephen A. So until we know where those players are, we don't know about Kaepernick.